We are back to the slide. Now, steroids are done. What do you think about activins, inhibins? Maybe you don't know about them, I know. Okay, but still, because these are new hormones for you, very new things for you. But logically speaking, if they are not steroids, which group should they belong to? Oh yes, very good answer. It's a great guess that they belong to proteins. Is the most important and the biggest group really. So they belong to the protein group of hormones. They are peptides and proteins. All right. Okay, so you have started sorting the hormones also chemically, that okay, we are dealing with the steroids and we are dealing with some hormones which are the protein hormones here. Okay. All right. We are picking the two most important hormones for the discussion, estrogen and progesterone, one by one, and then their actions, inshallah. Okay. Estrogenic hormones, or the estrogens, though it's not wahid, I'm using jama, estrogens. When I'm saying estrogens, it means it's not one, it's a group of hormones. Okay, and it is very interesting to know what does it mean exactly, what group, how many hormones, why are they different, what do they do. Let's see. And they have collected themselves under the heading of estrogens, or the estrogenic hormones. Let's see. Okay, they are coming from ovaries, they are coming from some special structures, the developing follicles of the ovaries. You know that, you have done it. Okay, the ovarian follicle, when it is developing, in some of the stages of development starts secreting estrogen, and then it becomes mature and it secretes maximum amount of estrogen. So estrogen is coming from follicle, follicular estrogens. Okay, progesterone's the second group. Okay, progesterone is also produced by the follicle in little amount, but actually the major amount, the big amount, the principal amount of progesterone is coming after ovulation, when there is a very special structure majood known as corpus luteum. So corpus luteum is mainly secreting the progesterone. Well, corpus luteum is also secreting the estrogen. I'm not saying that. It means it's an overlap. The follicle is secreting the estrogen in big amount, and sometime it is also secreting close to ovulation. It also produces a little amount of progesterone. Okay, this is about the follicle. Now you come to corpus luteum. Corpus luteum is secreting kathir amount of progesterone, but it is also giving you a good amount of estrogen. Okay, keep it in mind. So there is an overlap which is going on. You have to keep it in mind. Okay, estrogens and progesterones, names are now familiar. We are now coming to the meanings and the words. Okay, estrogens, very interesting. Okay, Latin word estrus. The word estrus, gen means producing. So, you know that. Gen means anything which is producing or developing. And estrus has a very special meaning. Estrus means, any idea? Eggs. No, not eggs. Okay, even though it's coming from eggs and from the follicles, you're saying that. Okay, which contain the ova. But still, estrus has a different meaning. Any other idea? Can you guess? Estrus. Well, estrus means sexual desire. Okay, the interest in the sex or having a sexual desire. Okay, these hormones are called female sex hormones because they are responsible for the development of the sexual system also, and also psychologically they produce the desire, a natural desire, okay, which a woman should have for the sex. So the sexual desire word is estrus. Okay, and gen, producing. So sex desire producing hormone, this is the word. Well, in humans, okay, I'm not saying that estrogens are causing and totally controlling the sexual desire. No, okay, it is contributing to the sexual desire, but originally the word comes from, the asal word comes from the meaning sexual desire. But now research is saying something else which we'll talk about later. Okay, so this is the meaning of the word estrogen. Okay. Chemical nature, steroid, done. Steroids are the compounds which are derived from one parent compound or a substance in the nature, and that is cholesterol. We all know that. So cholesterol is a steroid compound, the classical steroid compound from which you can make many other steroid substances in the body. Okay? You have steroid hormones in the body. You have a vitamin that is derived from the steroid. Can you name that vitamin? Yeah. Great, vitamin D. And there are some special metabolic substances in the part of digestion. Bile, derived from the bile. Now, you say bile. Bile is a juice actually. It's a secretion. But I want something in the bile which is derived from the cholesterol. Bile acids, thank you. Bile acids and bile salts, okay? These are the different cholesterol-derived steroid compounds present in the body. If anyone asks you what are the steroid compounds in the body, you will say, okay, number one, steroid hormones. Male and female hormones. Yes, okay. Second, you will say, yeah, steroid hormones, number one, you say sex hormones, male sex hormones, female sex hormones. Then you will say the adrenal cortical hormones, okay. Then you will say vitamin D, and then you will say the bile acids and the bile salts. This completes your answer that these are the steroid compounds, okay. All steroids have a very special nucleus in their structure, and that is called the steroid nucleus. You will see it soon. This is the nucleus, okay. This is structure. How many rings are present in the structure, Shabab? Give me the rings. 4 rings. Great answer. Are all these rings similar in structure, means number of carbon atoms? What is the difference? The first, second and third and fourth, okay. First, second and third versus the fourth one, what is the difference? Number of? Okay, consider the rings, okay. 6 carbon in first, second and third. What about the fourth one? Okay, so if I say, give me the cyclohexane rings in the structure, what will you say? 1, 2, 3. If I say cyclopentane ring, number 4. So 3 rings are cyclohexane structures, yani 6 carbon atoms, cyclic structures, and one only, akhir one is cyclopentane. This is giving you a steroid nucleus. Do you see that? Okay. Now, a very special thing is that hydroxyl group is also present. Do you see the hydroxyl group? That is a very important structure. Don't forget that. Okay. And if the hydroxyl group is موجود, then does it belong to alcohol or aldehyde or ketone? What do you think? If OH group is present. Steroid nucleus. Okay. A steroid nucleus is basically this structure. Okay. And this is a typical representation of the cholesterol actually. Okay. Now if you remove some parts, carbons, and keep the basic, if the 4 are موجود, then this is actually giving you the steroid. 1, 2, 3 and 4. If other things are not موجود, even then it is a steroid nucleus. So in this nucleus there are 4 rings موجود. Then you can attach different carbons, hydroxyls, ketones groups to make new and new compounds. There are thousands of compounds which you can form from the steroid nucleus. But the basic skeleton, basic structure is this ring, a 4 ring structure. 3 rings, 6 carbon atom. 4th and akhir ring is 5 carbon atom. Okay? Alright. If hydroxyl group is attached, what will you call it? Alcohol. OL is come. It will become a sterol. Sterol. Okay? And if, okay, we'll come to others. Okay? Let's begin our discussion from here very quickly. Now you see estrogens, a family of the estrogen hormones. How do you see the slide as? How many? 3. Numbered simply as E1, E2 and E3. Do you see that? Okay. Now you compare yourself. Okay. The names are also maktub. E1, E2 and E3. Okay. E1. What is the name of E1? Estrone. What is the name of E2? Estradiol. Estradiol. Okay. Or you can call it beta estradiol or estradiol. It's okay. The third one is estriol. Now look at the name, go back to the structure, identify why this name is given to this structure and come back. Number 1, estrone. Look at estrone. 1 hydroxyl, which is the lazim part, okay, but there is one special oxygen attached in a very special way. If this kind of special oxygen attachment as a functional group is present, what do you call this structure as? Ketone. Oh great, it's a ketone. Lovely answer. So ketone group is attached. Now look at the name. Estrone. It means, what is it representing? Ketone. Oh yes, okay, this is the estrogen which specifically contains a ketone group. Because of ketone, you have called it estrone. Okay, the name is estrone because of ketone group. So if I say, out of this E1, E2 and E3, which one is the ketone compound? You will call E1 or estrone. Very simple. Okay, go back to number 2, estradiol. What do you see here? Estradiol. Now look at the word diol. Alcohols, definitely. Diol means 2 alcohol. Do you see the 2 alcohols attached here? Khalas, so simple. Meaningful name. Look at the structure, come to the name. E2, estradiol. Look at the third one. Striol. Do you agree that there are 3 possible OH groups present there? Yes. Okay. So what should you call it? Estriol. The name is actually coming from, the nomenclature is coming from the structure basically. Okay, estriol, very simple. Sometimes there is another estrogen which is present in the human body in females during the pregnancy also. Oh, no. From the estrogen family, okay, apart from these 3, a 4th one appears sometimes and it has 4 hydroxyl groups attached to the structure. What will you call it? Estetrol. What will you call it? It is only mawjood in a little amount in pregnancy. That's why it is not written. It is not very mashhoor, but it is mumkin. It's present in the human body in pregnancy, but it has 4 hydroxyl groups attached. One more. So it will become estetrol. Tetrol. Tetra means arba, right? Tri means talata. Di means, so you know that. Okay. So estetrol. But these 3 are very important. That's why they are mentioned. So this is a possibility. Did you get the structure and the relationship with the name also? Okay. So yes, dear. Yeah. Yes, again? Is Arabic name or a common name? This one, no, it's the common name. Okay? Israel, you shortly call it, okay? It's attached to the beta carbon atom actually of the ring. Okay? That's why it's called it beta. But don't have to call beta estradiol biochemically, call it estradiol, it's simple. Okay? It is according to which specific carbon atom it is attached to and what is the name of that carbon atom. Okay? All right. Progesterone structure. Okay, and all right. One thing. Please look at this one. There is one little thing written wrong in the slide. Yes. Yeah. It's estradiol and striol.
They don't have estradiol, the second one, and the third one is estradiol.
No, you are saying tri. For tri, when you are saying tri, how many hydroxyl group do you have to find? 3. Now you look at the structure. Do you have 3? 1, 2, 3. So I think the name suits. You will call it estriol. Estradiol, how many? 2 are mawjood. So you call it diol. Okay, no problem with the name. Okay, something else. Yeah, C19 total carbon atoms in the estrogen. C19, it is not actually. Okay, by mistake, one less. How many? C18 steroids. Okay, C19s are the androgens actually. Okay, we'll talk about them later. Okay, by mistake I think it is written. It's C18 steroids. Okay, remember when I say, oh, we are talking about C18 steroids, you will definitely jump to estrogens. You'll say, oh, you are talking about estrogens, C18 steroids. If I say C19 steroids, oh, you are saying androgen family. If I say, no, I am talking about C21 steroids, you will go to the progesterone really. Okay, so the number counting also gives you an idea. So please keep it in mind and have a correction. Sorry for that. Okay, you will correct it yourself. Now look at the C21 steroids. All right, the total number of carbon atoms, okay, is 21 in this structure. Progesterones There are different types of progesterones, okay, but we are not classifying them as P1, P2 or P3, something like that. No, progesterones are progesterones. They have slightly different structures according to the functional groups, but we don't classify them as E1, E2, E3 like estrogens, okay. Look at the pathway. Just have a quick look because this is important for your biochemistry point of view, and I would like you to have a look. What is the starting substance in this pathway? First of all, we all agree it begins with the cholesterol, okay? What is the second common compound from which you are getting all the estrogens? It's pregnenolone. Can you see that? Pregnenolone is the second compound which you are getting, all right? What is the third in the pathway, and yet it is the common compound from which you can get all the estrogens? Progesterone. Oh, so it means awwal in the synthesis you are forming progesterone, and from progesterone now you are having diverse pathways, and then you can form different types of estrogens, okay? So learn logically, okay? Cholesterol is the parent compound, jad of all really, okay? And then you have another hormone coming in the pathway, a very important hormone, progesterone. And from progesterone, if enzymes are mojood, you can form different estrogens. Do you see that in the pathway? All right. Now look at the pathway. Coming down, androstenedione is the next compound. Do you see from progesterone, you are coming down and you're forming androstenedione. Okay? This androstenedione is basically an androgen. Okay? You are getting androstenedione also from one more source, from the pregnenolone. Do you see that? It's coming from progesterone. Yes, it is. Okay, but it is also coming from pregnenolone by another compound called DHEA. DHEA is another androgen. Okay, so number one, cholesterol, no hormone. Pregnenolone, no hormone. Progesterone, oh yeah, it's a hormone. Pregnenolone to DHEA, yes, a hormone, a male hormone, androgen, okay? It's androgen, DHEA is a hormone definitively, okay? From DHEA, you are also forming androstenedione, and from progesterone, you are forming androstenedione. What do you think about hormone or no hormone? Hormone, it's another male sex hormone. So it means no hormone, yes, 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 hormones, okay? All right, so hormonal interconversion is happening, you see, but the starting point is not the hormone. Starting point is a steroid compound which is mojood everywhere in the body, and that's cholesterol. Did you get that? Okay. Now, from androstenedione, now you have to see, focus androstenedione please, okay, and see what are you forming, how many pathways are going from androstenedione, forward pathways, 2 forward pathways. One pathway is going down. What is the end result of that pathway? Okay. You are going down. What is the, look at my question. I'm asking what is the end result of that pathway? End result, akhir result of that pathway. It's beta estradiol. All right? Okay. From androstenedione, you are forming a compound called testosterone. Hormone or no, it's not a hormone. What do you think? Hormone. Male or a female? Oh, it's so confusing that from you are changing from a female hormone to a male hormone, then from male hormone to a female hormone, and this confusing pathway goes on, but it's very interesting really, okay? This is how we develop the hormones, okay, by structure. So it means from progesterone, how many carbon atoms were there for progesterone? Now you are coming to the androgens or the male sex hormones. How many? 19. Then you are coming to testosterone. How many? 19, keeping the 19. Then you are coming to estradiol. How many? So there is a gradual reduction in the carbon atoms and modification structure, and you are forming finally the female sex hormones. Okay? So in this pathway, you are forming multiple intermediate hormones, changing from female to male and then from male to female. Okay? Now look at the same pathway and tell me about the enzyme which is giving you testosterone, which is forming the testosterone, and aromatase, okay? And then you are forming finally, for the transformation of the final female sex hormone estradiol, which enzyme is needed? Yeah, okay. NADPH is the compound which is helping, okay? All right? It's supporting this enzyme, but what is the name of the enzyme? Aromatase. Do you agree with me? Aromatase is the final one, which is forming the beta estradiol, okay? So if I say that I need the most important enzyme of the pathway which is finally forming the estradiol, what will you say? Aromatase. And the process of this aromatase action is known as, from the name aromatase. For example, I'll give you an example, okay? I say if I remove the hydrogen, I call it dehydrogenation, okay? If I add the water molecule, I call it hydration. If I remove the water, I call it dehydration. If I aromatize something, or so all right, but what am I doing actually? What is the name of that process? Aromatization. You call it, the process is called aromatization, okay? So when aromatase enzyme is acting, the process is aromatization. All right, so the female sex hormone is finally formed as a result of the process, and the process is called aromatization. Did you get that? All right. Okay. Now you go to the other pathway and look at androstenedione. What is being given by this pathway, the second one? Estrone. Is it a female sex hormone, yes or no? Yes. It is already a hormone. Okay. From the estrone, you are going two ways. Okay. What can you form from estrone? What do you think? Okay. Okay. Interconversion between beta estradiol and estrone is possible, sir. It is happening. And estrone can also form estriol. Okay. Can you form estriol directly from beta estradiol? No. Can you form beta estradiol from estrone? Yes. Can you form estrone from beta estradiol? Yes. And can you form estriol from estrone? Yes. Estriol from estrone. Estrone. Look at this again. I am asking a simple question. Can you form estriol from estrone? Yes or no? Yes. You are. This is the only way you are forming it, isn't it? Are you getting my point? You are forming estriol. Estriol, E3. Okay. Can you form it from E2? Yes or no? Yes. Can you form it from E1? Yes. All right. Or in other words, if I say estrone is forming estriol, yes or no? Yes. Estradiol is not forming estriol, yes or no? Estradiol is not forming directly. Yeah, I'm saying directly. Okay, you are catching a good word actually. If I say it's not directly converted into the estriol, true or false? True. And from beta estradiol, there is a possibility of forming estriol, yes or no? It's imkan. Yes, definitely. Okay. So look at the statement of ask. What is being asked actually? Did you get it? This is estriol, please. Okay. This is the direct pathway of the estriol, direct one. This is the indirect pathway of the estriol. Okay. Did you see that? So in the direct fashion, no, it cannot be formed. But indirectly, yes, you can form it. All right. Okay. The most important out of these, now we are coming to another very important point. Okay. This is the structure, please. Have a look very quickly. Beta estradiol, estrogen, both are given. Okay. There are some points. This is all biochemistry actually, but functionally you have to remember few of the very important facts which are present here. Okay. What is most important essential part of the compound? You should know it. This is very, very important. This aromatic ring, in the first carbon ring, if you see the ring A, ring B, ring C and ring D, there are 4 rings. Okay, the first ring, Awwal ring, OH is attached. You saw that, right? This OH is the most important part, essential part. If you don't have it, the compound will lose its functional activity. Okay, the first OH group, this OH group you can see, isn't it? All right, in any of these compounds. So in the structure activity, the most important point that you have to remember is the first OH, which is at carbon number 3 position. All right, if you add CH3 groups, alkyl groups, or CH more than that compounds, alkyl compounds, one example is methyl compound, other example is ethyl compound, propyl compound, like this. If you are attaching these compounds to the structure, to the aromatic structures, then overall function of the molecule will decrease. Okay, remember that, another point, if you are adding alkyl groups. All right, another important point is that if you remove, can you see the double bonds present in the structure? When the double bonds are present, is the structure saturated or unsaturated? Unsaturated or saturated?
One bond is saturated. One bond we call saturated.
Okay, and if you have the double bond, it still has a chance of being converted into. All right, okay. If the compound is becoming unsaturated more and more, if the double bonds are increasing in number, okay, unsaturation increases, isn't it? Then the activity also decreases. Okay, more double bonds, less activity of the compounds. Okay, if it is increasing between the rings or inside the rings. If you modify the positions in the ring number 3, okay, especially 17 and 16 carbon atoms, then it increases the activity of the compound. 16 and 17 position of the carbon atoms. Okay. All right. So as you increase the unsaturation, the compound becomes better. If you remove the first hydroxyl group, the compound becomes inactive. Okay. If you increase or attach more methyl, ethyl groups or these groups, the compound's activity becomes less and less. Okay, keep it in mind. If you remove the keto group, if the keto group is mawjood, and if you are removing the keto group, then that will decrease the activity. But what kind of activity? The androgenic activity, or the male sex hormone like activity of that hormone. Okay. Yes. Anything? All right. Now we are approaching very quickly the sites of biosynthesis. Have a look at the slide, please. Okay. Have a quick look. Look at the sources and look at the phases of the life on the right side. Okay. Female phases of the life. Now, are you familiar with the terms of the female life? Okay. What are the terms which we are using? Okay. All right. Just doesn't work really.